Mosier Media Podcast.
Good morning and welcome to the Monday Morning Commute here on the Mosier Media Podcast series. And certainly glad for everyone who tunes in and watches, listens. And of course, we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're on LinkedIn. We're on LinkedIn if I can do this in under 15 minutes. And today I have two talking points. And on two talking points, anyone should be able to finish up a presentation in under 15 minutes. But I have a little trouble sometimes keeping it under 15 minutes to get it on LinkedIn. And really what it is a grand experiment in social media and connecting with an audience, in learning how things work, even at age 51, even after 34 years in video production. March 1st, 1992, I started the video production company, so I get to claim 34 years in video production. And it's amazing, even after all that time, more than 3 decades, I am still learning. And things change quickly. So this is about connecting with an audience, but it's about learning how to put audio on Spotify and see how it comes out on the iTunes and all of that. So thank you for participating as an audience member to our grand experiment. And one thing I would really like to focus on today is how important it is to be looking at how many audience members you have on any of your social media platforms and celebrate any number as a win. And I always think of this as an audience in a theater, and they're waiting for us to come out on stage. And so how many audience members do you have right now on your YouTube channel or on your Facebook? And of course, what we're talking about is your company YouTube channel or your company Facebook page. And what are we doing for our personal brand, for our business, to market ourselves on these platforms? And again, I'm still learning. And of course, I started in this business in video production. And back in the day, love the back in the day stories. Back in the day, you shot video, you delivered it to the client on tape. Sometimes the raw video for an agency or a production company that was hiring you as a freelance videographer, let's say, or you're doing a project for a client and you're shooting, editing, delivering a final product, all of it on tape. And this was the work we did and still do today. But of course now we're delivering video for, in a lot of cases, YouTube and Facebook and even TikTok. How about that? And the idea, can you do a reel or a short, a TikTok video, an Instagram video, anything that is 9:16, can you do these in a professional manner? And of course, everybody wants to take out the phone and do the 9:16 because we're all doing it like this. And there's a reason, is we're consuming it in this way. So certainly we all know, I don't have to tell you, that reels and shorts have taken off. But the summary of all of it is that what are we doing to build our business and our personal brand, or sell our products and services, advance our careers, all of that? What are we doing different this week? And I like to take Monday morning to inspire, to throw out food for thought, to share what's happening right here at Mosier Media at this moment. And in order to make our social media happen, in order to make this happen, I am sticking to the Monday morning schedule. And yes, as you can tell, I'm up early. You worked late into the studio last night. We have shows this morning here in Akron, Ohio. Here it is. There's the blimp. Shout out to Rubber City Clothing. Let me see if I can get this in the shot. I'm excited for St. Patrick's Day, clearly. Here we are on March 2nd. And St. Patrick's Day coming up, of course. And I like supporting small business, especially here in Akron. So on Saturday, I went in and bought this shirt. But here in Akron, we have more television studios than any other media entity in Northeast Ohio. Throughout the former B.F. Goodrich complex here in downtown Akron, now known as Canal Place, we have multiple TV studios. So today we have numerous show recordings. So I come in here early and do my Monday morning commute before anybody else comes in. And the goal is to get it out there so that folks might take 10 to 12 minutes to listen in the car, and all of it is to inspire. What are we going to do this week that's different than last week? How are we going to advance our cause, advance our business? And of course, my favorite method for growing the business and communicating with the world is through a podcast like this. So what I want to suggest is If you have an audience of 30 people on YouTube, this is a win. And a lot of us think about going viral or being an influencer or having a monetized YouTube channel where you're making money. But what I want to talk about is using YouTube or Facebook or LinkedIn or any place where you can put a video like this to speak to your audience of 100 and celebrate 100 audience members as a win. And here's the way to do it. Take a poll, take a survey, get feedback. So put something out there like this, and then collect thoughts from people as to how your content connects with them. And all you need is one more viewer, one more visitor to your website, one additional viewer or visitor than your next closest competitor. So if you're looking at your competitors, and some of them don't have YouTube channels at all, and you have a YouTube channel that has one video with 5 views, you're already ahead. And the challenge is, and of course I have an unfair advantage because we have video production companies. We have an enterprise of media operations here with TV studios everywhere. I can roll in, hit a button, and do this. And there's nothing wrong with taking a corner of your business and setting up an area. And certainly we've done a lot of that consulting work where we come into a company and help them set up a channel and then set up an area for these kinds of recordings. But how are you going to do it consistently? And how are you going to convince yourself that it's okay if you're only speaking to 5 people? You have to start somewhere. There's nothing wrong with putting out videos and seeing the view count, and it's not quite where you want it to be, but you're doing it. It will grow. It does happen. And another way to do it is to merge this with your email list. So let's say you're on Constant Contact or MailChimp. And those of us that do that, you're looking for a reason to email, and you want your email to have some value have a reason to click on it. You have to give something. For example, in my Monday morning commute in this podcast, I'm hoping that I have an audience of business owners, folks in media, friends I know that work in video production or photography or the creative services field, and they might listen to this for 10 minutes to hear what I have to say about how you grow your business, especially in the creative services field. There's certainly a lot of work involved in putting together that email list and then coming up with, what do I say? And a lot of us have that writer's block, that blank screen we're staring at. It's okay, well, I have an email list of 500, an opt-in list. And we'll wrap up the Monday morning commute with the idea of the opt-in. When you have a YouTube channel, if you have 30, 50, 100 subscribers on your YouTube channel, you have an opt-in mailing list. Because in many cases, depending on how the user has it set up on their phone or their computer, if you post a video, your subscribers might get notified. If you go live, your subscribers might get a notification. Mosier Media just went live. And this is a great way to reach people. Certainly if you have 500 followers on your company Facebook page, this is an opt-in mailing list. Here's 500 people that want to hear from you. And what content are you coming up with to speak to your audience, to speak to that theater full of people that have gathered together, the curtain's closed, and they're sitting there kibitzing, hopefully turning their phones off. If you're in a theater, you turn your phone off, and they're waiting for you to come out on stage. And what are you going to say? What are you going to deliver that has value, that made them glad that they are there? And the opt-in mailing list, certainly, if we talk about the email list, is so important to get to that number, that magic number, where your opt-in list are all people who have agreed to be on your mailing list. And it's abundantly clear if they're subscribed to your YouTube channel, that's an opt-in list. They are all in on what you have to say. And the same thing on Facebook or LinkedIn. And it's a lot easier to get folks to connect with us on a personal account than follow our company page. So if you have a LinkedIn account and you have 2,000 personal connections, that has tremendous value. And so on the email side, of course, one of the most important things we could talk about on that topic is the importance of respecting the opt-out, the unsubscribes. And I will leave you with this today. This might be if you could only work on one thing this week, that is, How do you value those who would like to come off of your mailing list? All of us are guilty of finding an email somewhere and then spamming. And I made this mistake. This was a huge mistake 10 years ago. I would use Dan at MosierMedia.com as the way to reach people by email, and I had a mail merge system, maybe in Word and Outlook, or one of those things where in Excel where you could put the names in and you could email 500 or 1,000 people. And I felt like that was mostly an opt-in list. It was folks in the Cleveland Council for Smaller Enterprises we were involved in, the Advertising Federation, local Akron chapter, all of these names that I had. And we got marked as a spammer because there were too many people that said, mark as spam, mark as spam. And I will say that we are much better off on a MailChimp or a Constant Contact than trying to do one-offs. That was a mistake. And it took a couple years for us to fix our domain. And it was because of my lack of respect for the idea of the opt-in or just spamming. So now I have a mailing list where I have worked very hard to make sure that if somebody hits unsubscribe, that we take them off. And you kind of a little bit of analysis, well, how did they get there anyway? And it maybe, if they were in the Greater Akron Chamber and we're in the Greater Akron Chamber, I might have taken the whole list and done that 10 years ago. But then all the years of all the unsubscribed, you get your email list. Let's say you start with 10,000 and you start emailing, and some are bounce backs because the folks have retired or they've moved to another job. And the point to all of it is, your social media is an opt-in list. And this is a great place to start. And don't be discouraged if you only have 10 subscribers. Get out there and say something. Get out there and deliver something to that audience of 10. Treat them like the 10 hottest prospects on the planet. And even if two of them are your parents and three of them are your cousins and a couple of siblings, and then you had all your employees go on and you got 25 people, that's an audience. And to wrap up again, we're going to say opt-in. So important. Work your bounce backs, work the mailing list, take those who have said, hey, I don't want to be on your mailing list, and work the unsubscribe. And make sure that you know that you're better off with a Constant Contact email list of 500 people who really want to hear what you have to say than you are with 10,000 that are irritated and not opening the mail anyway. So there are my thoughts for a Monday morning here, approaching St. Patrick's Day, here with the shout out again. See, I can't look at the monitor because I'll go the wrong way. The Goodyear blimp, look at it. Well, it doesn't say Goodyear. This is just a blimp. But here in Akron, Ohio, we celebrate the Goodyear. Actually, around the world, they celebrate the Goodyear blimp. But here it is, the Goodyear blimp made out of, look at that, little shamrocks. How about that? So happy St. Patrick's Day. I think we have one more Monday before St. Patrick's Day. Is it on a Tuesday, I think? Of course, we'll have the parade here. Somebody told me that Cleveland, Ohio, has the second largest St. Patrick's Day celebration in the country. How about that? And of course, somebody also told me there's a direct flight between Cleveland Hopkins Airport and Dublin because of the Irish population up there in Cleveland. But here we are in Akron, Ohio. With the Monday morning commute, getting ready to start a work week. Let's make it a great one. Let's figure out what can we do this week that builds our business. What are we going to do this week that makes growing our operation more fun? And what are we going to do this week that makes this week better than last week? Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. This has been the Monday morning commute here at Mosier Media in downtown Akron, Ohio, where I am watching our crew come in early on a Monday morning. And thank you again for listening and watching, and we will see you on the next one.
Mosier Media Podcast.